Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to the Change Collective. So, I've got my good friend here, Frischka, and we're talking about all things change. It's such an incredible topic to dive into. It's even more wonderful to be a part of it, to try and change people's perspective on managing change. So, Frischka, thank you very much again for joining us. So, today's topic, we're talking about epic change fails. Now, we come across many different change failures. We see the stats, as Frischka mentioned in our earlier video this week. Change fails at a great rate of knots, and there are many different aspects as to why change fails. So what I wanted to do is to open it up to Frischka to talk a little bit about your experience, some of the war stories that you've had.
Okay. Before I start with my own personal experience, I just wanted to highlight the biggest ever corporate merger in history was a complete failure, and the chairman himself went public on record and cited the lack of change resourcing and attention given to the clashing of the cultures, and that is AT&T and Time Warner. So that was $108 billion. The biggest ever computer system in history. Again, that was disbanded. That was the NHS in the UK, and that was at a cost of $11 billion. So ineffective change management resulted in communication clashes between stakeholders, sky-high resistance, and it actually led to them fighting it out in the courts. And so it resulted in contractual disputes. For me personally, a fail would have been many, many years ago, before I even became a change manager. I didn't realize what it was at the time. So I was working at a government body, and they wanted to introduce a new case management system. And what did they do? They got some, software people in to scope it out without involving the case managers themselves in it. So the solution that was developed, they had no skin in the game, hence there was no buy-in, and the couple of $1 million was very expensive for just a desktop icon that remained unused on people's PCs. Yeah. What about you, Matt?
That's I've seen and heard many of those, and
Very common, very common.
similar ones. I think what I notice in a lot of the technology implementations that I do, so I've done a number in financial services, building and construction, in technology companies, healthcare, education. What people tend to look at is technology is the solution, but they focus too much on the technology. So that, as you mentioned, they bring in those technology geeks and come in and say, look at all these wonderful features that can happen. And I've seen so many times the lovely little icon that just sits in that top right hand corner on a desktop.
It's just like, mocking you.
It's just like, is that ever going to open? Is that ever going to do anything? So, no, I can completely understand and agree. But I like that point that you were talking about before in terms of ensuring that you've got the right stakeholders in talking about the right conversations and getting to the core of the culture with like AT&T and Time Warner, for instance. Is there any? I always ask this question because it's a little bit dangerous. Is there any one thing that you would like to really drive home as a message for all of our viewers?
The seeds that you plant today when it comes to bringing about change don't result in fruit tomorrow, but it doesn't mean you stop fertilizing. It doesn't mean you stop watering. Like anything worth having in life, it takes time, commitment, and persistence. So the same with change.
Beautifully said. And that's a great way to end our Change Collective for this week. So stay tuned. Have a great weekend, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.